that is going to act as a clarified filter for all of our work. Throughout this process up to about the very end, we will sparge that grain. That means we spray it down with hot water. That allows us to drop every last bit of fermented sugar out of that grain. Now that grain that's left in there, it's called spent grain. Now we can't use it for brewing anymore. We don't want to send it to the landfill. So we have a giant silo on the other end of the building that we fill with all this spent material. Once a day, a truck comes by, picks up some of this spent material, takes it out to Chico State Farms. We have 15 head of cattle to maintain. So if anybody has any of the burgers, any of the steaks later on in the restaurant, guess what? They came from that herd of cattle and we fed with that spent grain. 50 head of cattle play can possibly the amount that we produce on a daily basis here. And so we have another company that comes here 2 to 3 times a day, picks up all the spent material, and distributes it to dairy farms here within the valley, making for very happy California cows. Now we take all this wort out of here, we're going to put it in one of these 2 brew kettles. If you go down to the restaurant and you see what look like 2 brew kettles, one is a brew kettle, the other one is this old copper louder tun we brought back from Germany. So the thing that allows us to do twice as much, we can fill it in one of these, boil it with the other one, and vice versa. Now what we're going to do is we're going to boil our wort for about 90 to 120 minutes. One of the reasons to do that is pretty simple. We want to sterilize that wort. Everywhere around us is wild yeast. Wild yeast is allowed to propagate in that wort. It won't make for a very consistent product and may produce some really odd flavors. We want to destroy that wild yeast so we can make a consistent product. Second reason is we're going to start to introduce our homegrown hops. Hop oil, like you found out, is not water soluble. So what we're doing is we're heating up the hop cones to get that yellow dust, that lupulin gland, to melt out of the hop cones and infuse itself into the wort. Now that wort's called bitter wort. That's where the bitterness and the beer, the flavor comes from. So after that, we take all that wort, we run it through hop strainer, we want to remove all that plant matter, and we pump it into our last vessel, our whirlpool receiver. Okay, cool. Everybody, this is Ryan, who's going to tour. So, after that, we take all this wort, we run it through hop strainer, we're done with that, and we pump it in the last vessel here, our whirlpool receiver. Now, our whirlpool